Welcome back. Welcome back. All right, back to the Aaron Rodgers saga. Wow. What is going on with the Green Bay Packers and New York Jets? Which team has the more urgency? Which team has more leverage? I got some clear opinions about this. But what we're going to do today is we're going to look at an article that goes over some mock trade scenarios. From this article, we're going to make a determination which team has the leverage, what team just needs to make this deal. Okay, so the article that we're going to look at today is an article, and I'm going to bring it up right here. It's coming up. It's coming up. Okay, so it's a mock trade negotiating for Aaron Rodgers with Jets Wire. It's by Zach Cruz. And basically, so Brian Gutekunst, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, and Joe Douglas haven't gotten a deal done for Aaron Rodgers. Of course, it's obvious. So we have two smart general managers, and they're struggling to figure out a complicated trade with unique dynamics, but each side wants the same thing. Rodgers playing for the New York Jets in 2023. So right there in the first paragraph, they're both saying that both teams, their goal is to have Aaron Rodgers play for the Jets in 2023. That point right there, I'd say that's a leverage point for the Jets. But there's a lot of stuff to come. So while Gutekunst and Douglas continue trying to complete a trade, Zach Cruz of Packers Wire and Billy Roquette of Jets Wire, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right, decided to give the negotiation sides a try. Okay, so let's see. So the final result of our back and forth, Aaron Rodgers to the Jets. So we're going to go through a package right here. So the result of the back and forth would send Aaron Rodgers to the Jets in exchange for a 2023 second round pick. So that would be the number 43 pick, Elijah Moore, and a conditional 2024 pick. Starts at a third-round pick, but would turn into a first-round pick if Rodgers is on the roster on the fifth day of the 2024 league year. Also, the Packers pay no part of his nearly $60 million roster bonus. So that's the proposed trade. So, I mean, that's really the compromise right now. The Packers want a lot of compensation. The Jets want to give as little as possible. So, in the past, there was an attempt by the Packers to get two first-round picks from the Jets. Then there was another attempt by the Packers to get a first-round pick in 2020. So, it's going to be the 2023 draft. They're going to get a first-round pick and get Jermaine Johnson. So, first-round pick and Jermaine Johnson. And then there seemed to be another trade around Jermaine Johnson. But bottom line, Jermaine Johnson was a first-round pick last year. So if you include him, that would have been like including two first-round picks. And even if it's centered around Jermaine Johnson, that's like trading a first-round pick because he was a first-round pick last year. Okay. So the compromise that these gentlemen came up with was to get the second rounder and include Moore, and then do the 2023 compensation pick, which would vary depending on what Rodgers does. So the deal provides the Packers with another top 50 pick to address a roster need and to build around Jordan Love this year. Plus, Elijah Moore is a talented wide receiver who caught 5 touchdown passes as a rookie and could be an excellent complementary weapon alongside Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs. Moore is only 23 and on a cheap rookie deal and plays a position of need, making him an ideal piece to add and to bridge the gap. So Rodgers turns 40 in December and hasn't committed to playing past 2023. So the 2024 pick has to be conditional. If he plays a second season in New York, the Packers get a first rounder next year. Okay, so that would be the condition of this mock trade. So that Rodgers decides to play next year, that conditional pick would turn into a first-round pick. If he doesn't, the Packers just get a third rounder. So the trade becomes this. 1 year of Rodgers would turn into going to Green Bay, a second-round pick, Elijah Moore, and a third-round pick in 2024. Okay. So the standstill here is the Jets don't want to give the 13th pick. Green Bay wants the 13th pick. Who has the leverage? This mock trade that actually is supposed to be a compromise looks to be a fair trade. A second-round pick, a top, not a top wide receiver, but a guy who has top wide receiver talent, a guy who is on an ascending trajectory, and a third-round pick for the next year. I mean, besides a first-round pick, that actually seems like a lot of value. Maybe preferentially, maybe Green Bay would actually prefer that. But, I know first-round pick does have more value, but this trade does give a lot of value. All right, in terms of value, who has more leverage? And I keep thinking about this scenario in terms of what the Packers have. Do they have another team interested in Aaron Rodgers? That's number one. Number two, if they did have another team interested in Rodgers, do they have an okay from Rodgers that he would actually go to another team? Because Rodgers, we all have to remember, Rodgers could just retire. It doesn't look like Rodgers is going back to Green Bay any way, shape, or form. That we know. So if he was going to go to another team, he would have to agree to it. So that's number two. And number three, if this extends beyond the 2023 draft, I don't think that's beneficial to the Packers. I think they want to get some type of draft compensation before April. Okay, so that, I would say, those three factors don't benefit Green Bay. They benefit the Jets. So, there's no competition. There's no other team that's interested in Rodgers that we hear of. There's no other team that Aaron Rodgers is willing to go to, number two. And number three, they want a draft pick this draft. Green Bay Packers, they're a young team. They're looking to build. They got a lot of talent right now. They want picks now. Especially they want to build as best team as possible around Jordan Love. They want this thing to come off the ground and go. Okay. So that, I would say, is in the leverage favor of the New York Jets. Now let's look on the flip side. Let's look, what are the advantages of Green Bay? Okay. Now we look at what the Jets have done. The Jets already are building a team around Aaron Rodgers. They're getting Aaron Rodgers buddies. They already got Lazard. He's already in place. They've already invested a lot of time and money in Aaron Rodgers. That's number one. So they put people around Aaron Rodgers, also Nathaniel Hackett. This is all stuff that is already in place. Would another quarterback be able to fit the system? We don't know, but we know that it's specially built for Aaron. All right, so that's leverage to the Packers because this is something the Jets have already done. Okay, number two, we're already getting into the offseason where options have come off the board. Garoppolo, an option, off the board. He's not an option anymore. Other options, they are going to be gone by the wayside. I know there are still enticing options out there. We have Matthew Stafford, who could be an option. He could be an option. All right, he's a lot younger. He could play pretty well with this team, with this defense, with these offensive weapons. I mean, that might not be such a bad thing, especially you can have him for a few more years. You also have Lamar Jackson. It's going to cost you. It's going to cost you a lot of money, and it's going to cost you 2 first-round picks, but that is also options. Okay? All right. So, I mean, I'm talking about things that would benefit the Packers. Like I initially started off by saying that options are coming off the board, but then as I go through it, I'm figuring out and we figure this out together, that there are still options available. So that's actually, I can't say that really benefits the Packers so much, because there still are options out there available for the Jets to go and get, and they are good options. So what I'm trying to say is, I know Green Bay Packers fans want the first round pick. Just give us the pick. Just give us the pick. You'll have Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, you'll have him. But you know what? If that was the case, you guys have done a horrible job at just kicking Aaron Rodgers out the door. At least you should have made it where if you don't want him, at least make it seem like you want him. The Jets know you don't want him. And the Jets know that there's no other place in the NFL that he could go. All right? So if you ask me who has the leverage here, I got to go with the Jets big time. I got to go. And if there's Green Bay Packers fans, and I have all the respect in the world for you guys, are great fans. I see every time I watch on TV, it always makes me want to be at the stadium, because I see, you guys with the cheeseheads, the passion out there. I don't see any other fans like you guys. So, I got to give you a lot of credit. I got to give you a lot of credits. Also, too, you're lucky that you had 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks back to back. So you've seen a lot of playoff games. You haven't won that much, only 2 Super Bowls, way more than the Jets. That's double the Jets in the last 50 years. But still, I give you credit for being a great fan base. That number one. So if there's something that I'm personally missing, please drop it in the comments. Like if there's something apparent that would favor the Green Bay Packers, just let me know. I'm open, and I'm open to changing my opinion. But I would have to say, hands down, Jets have the leverage. So as the time goes by, I say it favors the Jets. And also, too, since Aaron is familiar with Nathaniel Hackett and is familiar with the offensive system, he doesn't need as much time with the team. Jet fans and the Jets organization would love Aaron to spend as much time with the Jets as possible. But if it's at the cost of a first-round pick plus, I think they're okay with Aaron Rodgers sitting out for a while and not coming into camp as soon as possible. So those are my thoughts. Those are my opinions. Please, if you can, I put a lot of thought and effort into this video. If you could like and subscribe, it really helps out. Please, it actually does really help the growth of this channel. So it means a lot. So like and subscribe and give me your thoughts. I love to hear your comments. Give me your thoughts about the video. Give me your thoughts about what you think about the question about who has more leverage. It's a very interesting situation. This saga is interesting. That's why I'm personally covering this. I'm going to go from very important saga to saga throughout the year. We are a universal sports nation, so we're going to cover all sports. I'm a big baseball fan as well. I love basketball, so I love all sports. If football, it's an exciting time. Free agency, draft coming up. You can't miss that. So thank you so much for listening. Thank you for tuning in to Universal Sports Nation. I can't thank you enough. And have yourself a wonderful day. Take care. Bye.